UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopez. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
All right, to kick this thing off, I'll give this card a solid 8 out of 10. Some really fun, exciting finishes on this card. But the first prelim of the night I want to talk about is Mr. Marco Tulio versus Tresean Gore. Tulio is the real deal at 185 pounds. That man looked vicious. Every strike he threw looked like he had a potential to knock Gore out. And he looked like he was on a whole nother level this time. Is he ready for somebody in the top 15 his next time out? Maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like it's one more than the top 15 guy. That's just my opinion. But this man, Marco Tulio from the Contender Series, hits like a Mack truck. The next prelim fight I want to talk about is Mr. Michael Olechek versus Cedric Dumas. This man Olechek just ran through Dumas. I don't know what Dumas was thinking. I mean, he just tried to sit there and act like those punches wouldn't hurt him. And Olechek obliged him and was able to get the TKO win after just punching Dumas repeatedly with no sign of movement from him. Good stoppage from the referee. And Olechek snaps his 3-fight losing streak, which if you look at his losing streak and the way those fights going, it's kind of I mean, he dropped Kevin Holland before getting armbar, and he lost to Sarah Bullock by decision. So his losses ain't that bad, but they could be better in his UFC career so far. Julian Rosa versus Darren the Damage Elkins kind of went how I expected it to. Julian Rosa looked younger. He was able to move faster. He was able to get the first TKO. He was able to get the first round TKO knockout. I mean, the Damage has been in a lot, and I mean a lot of wars. And I just think it's time for him to hang it up. His chin is clearly gone. You can only come back from so many of those powerful rock shots before you just can't get unrocked in the middle of a fight, which it is what it is. Damage Elkins has had a long, fruitful career, so hopefully he decides to retire and put the gloves up for his career. Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. Chase Hooper is still beating up old men. That's what he said. Them was his words exactly. Hopefully he can get some type of young contender, somebody that we can get excited for him to fight, because him just beating up old guys like Jim Miller and Clay Guida his last couple of times out, I really moved the needle much. Jadova versus Yan Xiaonan was actually a pretty good fight. Jadova was just able to control Yan Xiaonan on the ground the entire time she wanted her down there, and it looked pretty easy for Jadova. I think it's pretty clear who's the #1 contender is in the 125-pound weight class, and it's Varine Jadova. In the prelim main event of the night, we had Mr. Dan 50K Ige versus Sean the Sniper Woodson. Dan Ige looked fantastic. Bad stoppage. It wasn't a good stoppage at all. I mean, Sean Woodson was actually getting back to his feet whenever the fight was called off. But Dan Ige looked fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from that man's performance, but I feel like that fight could have went a little bit longer. But Dan Ige did look fine. I feel like he was going to keep punching him, but I don't think he would have been a TKO. I think it probably would have went to decision. What do you guys think? Let me know. Kicking off the main card, we had the former title contender, Mr. Dominic Reyes, taking on Nikita Krylov. Dominic Reyes, I'm sorry, I wrote you off before, and that was a very bad mistake on my end. This man has snapped his 4-fight losing streak and countered that with an all first-round finish streak. This man was able to absolutely starch Nikita Krylov in the very first round with a step-back right hand, reminiscence of Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. But outside of that, Dominic Reyes, who does he fight next? He's looking like he is climbing back up the 205-pound weight division. He's looking like a very powerful, dominant force with these knockouts he is getting. I think he lines up somebody in the top 5, maybe top 7 his next time out. What do you guys think? Let me know. The fight I was most excited to see this weekend, we had Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. This fight, it took a little longer to get to where I thought it was going to go, but Silva was ultimately able to choke this man, Bryce Mitchell, out with a ninja choke. It would look nasty. Bryce Mitchell went out for a couple of seconds with his eyes open. That choke was absolutely nasty. John Silva has a number by his name, and it is number 11. Who does John Silva fight next? He said he wants a title shot. I doubt that happens, but it's worth the ambition at this point. I mean, because anything can happen, especially if somebody gets to title week and pulls out. John Silva might be the first man they call. But what do you guys think about John Silva's performance? I feel like it was one of the best performances of the night, and he won $50K bonus because of it. But Bryce Mitchell, that makes it 2 back-to-back losses versus Josh Emmett and John Silva. Where does he go from here? He might be ranked number 15, But what do you guys think? Do y'all think he should fight a veteran, or do y'all think he should fight an up-and-comer to try to give up that ranking spot? Let me know. Following that fight, we had Mr. Yair Rodriguez taking on the UFC debutant Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull looked shell-shocked. I'm not gonna lie. The first round especially, it looked like he didn't know what MMA was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the lights was too bright. I don't know if Yair was just too long and reachy and just couldn't find his rhythm in the fight. But Patricio Pitbull did not look great. That is not the Pitbull that I remember seeing at Bellator saying, man, what can he do in the UFC? Can he make some noise in the UFC? That wasn't him. That wasn't him at all. Hopefully he comes back earlier than later this year, because that performance put a sour taste in my mouth. No, did he? But on the flip side of that, Yair Rodriguez looked like an absolute dog. He was able to do anything he wanted to in that fight. Those 2 years he took off looked like he worked on a lot of stuff, because he looked faster, he looked stronger, he looked poised for another title run. He asked for a title shot also at UFC Noche in Guadalajara. I'm not too opposed to that. What do you guys think about it? Let me know. And the biggest shock of the night to me personally, we had the co-main event. We had Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. This man, Paddy Pimblett, proved me wrong more than I ever thought I was. This man dominated. Absolutely dominated Michael Chandler. It looked easy. I don't think we've seen Chandler just dominated like that. This man, Michael Chandler, was absolutely deflated after round 2. In round 3, Paddy Pimblett came in there, stormed him, and just got him out of there. Fantastic finish from Paddy the Baddy. That man looked like he was ready to go all 5 rounds if needed to, but he didn't have to. And this Paddy the Baddy, I think this is a whole different guy that fought Jared Gordon. This man looks damn good. He looks like he can do anything in the world right now, especially at 155 pounds. It looks like a very, very good world to be in. I mean, he has multiple options. He has Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira. Does he want to do the Ilia Topuria fight? Does Ilia Topuria even take that fight? I don't blame him if he doesn't. I think he should come in for a title shot. This is my opinion. What do you guys think is next for Paddy the Baddy? And what do you guys think is for Michael Chandler, who drops to 1-5 in his last 6 fights? Not the best UFC record, but probably the most entertaining. In the main event of the night, another big shocker for me, we have Mr. Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. And when I say it's a big shock to me, I'm not saying Alexander Volkanovski winning. I actually had him being willing and able to go into the pocket with that man, Diego Lopez, and eat some very tough shots from Diego Lopez surprised me. It surprised me a lot. I thought his chin would be a little more rattled than what it is, but his chin looks just like Ilia Topuria. Just hits really, really hard, and Islam Makhachev caught him in the head with a head kick. That's what it looks like at this point. But Alexander Volkanovski looks like the real deal, and he is back at 145 pounds, and he is back the king of 145 pounds. And Diego Lopez, I don't think he's lost any type of stock in this fight. He looked good throughout the most of it. It's just Alexander Volkanovski. He's a champion. He's been there before, and it showed. It showed really well. What do you guys think should be next for Diego Lopez? Honestly, for me personally, I would love to see that fight versus Yair Rodriguez. I don't blame Yair if he doesn't take that fight, as he should be aiming for a title shot. But that fight in Guadalajara would be an absolute banger. But what did you guys think about UFC 314? What was your favorite performance from UFC 314? What was your big shocker of UFC 314? Let me know down below in the comments. And like always, like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people. Peace.